Okay.
You want us?
Podium I would prefer. You can
Okay.
stay 6 feet apart. Probably went closer to that than that to him already. But.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Laughlin, could you come on up here to the podium, please? This is People of the State of Michigan versus Michael Laughlin, docket number 18-438FH. And Mr. Laughlin, you are here today on allegations that you're in violation of probation. It's alleged here first that on or about December 13 of last year, you had drug paraphernalia in your possession. And then the other allegation is that on or about December 14, you failed to report police contact to your agent. Do you understand the allegations?
Yes, ma'am.
And if they're proven true, it could subject you to a maximum penalty of up to life or any term of years on one of your prior convictions, and then up to 15 years on the second one and up to 15 years on the third one. You have the right to an attorney, and you are represented by Mr. Milks. You also have the right to have a contested hearing on this where you could appear by yourself or through your attorney. You could hear the evidence presented against you. You could cross-examine witnesses, and you could present your own evidence. And Mr. Milks, how are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, I've also explained to my client not only the allegations, but also his right to a hearing, Your Honor. It is my understanding after explaining these things that he would like to enter a plea of guilty at this time.
Is that right, Mr. Laughlin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Laughlin, as I said, you have the right to a contested hearing. If you plead guilty, you won't have a contested hearing, and you'll give up the rights that go along with it. That includes the right to be represented by an attorney, the right to have the allegations proven, the right to have the witnesses against you appear at the hearing and to be able to cross-examine them, the right to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear at the hearing, and also the right to testify yourself at the hearing if you wanted to. Do you understand those rights?
I do, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any promises to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Anyone used any threats or other kinds of pressure?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you did violate probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then tell me how you violated probation.
Well, I didn't report police contact. At the time, I thought it was just EMTs because the ambulance had come and I was talking with the EMTs. And I guess I had police contact with another officer and I didn't recall it.
Okay. And then
Due to a relapse.
you had something, substance with you, dust off, I think it's called.
Yeah, it was inhalants. It was called Duster.
And that produces like an intoxicated state?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I relapsed. I'm back into a treatment center now, the Pinnacle, sober living place right now. I've been there for 3 weeks now.
What's that, Rise?
Pinnacle.
Oh, Pinnacle, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the ladies there was a counselor at the House of Commons that I was at, but I got out and I tried biting off too much more than I could chew. My fiance at the time, her dad was dying of cancer. Not that it's an excuse, but I left Pinnacle and went back there instead of staying my 6 months. And I just got overwhelmed with the work. And then I decided to use one time. And you know, I immediately contacted my counselor and spoke with my intensive outpatient counselor, Jim Keel. I spoke with him, my sponsor, and Teresa. I can't remember her last name, I'm sorry, but she's one of the owners of Pinnacle. And they got me back into Pinnacle.
Okay.
So that's where I'm currently residing now.
Very good.
Thank you.
The court finds the plea is understandingly, voluntarily, and knowingly made. It is supported by the testimony. The plea of guilty is accepted. Mr. Laughlin is found guilty of probation violation. And Agent Forrest, is there a recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I would ask that the probationer be continued on probation and we continue in relapse prevention. I had intended to ask the court today to consider mental health court due to some ongoing mental health issues that have arisen during probation. However, I reviewed the case today and spoke with Jim Keel from Relapse Prevention and found that the defendant is scheduled to complete relapse prevention in March, and that is the last piece to this probation that he has left to complete. And I'm confident in Mr. Laughlin's ability to complete probation by the end of relapse prevention as is, with help from the Pinnacle House as well.
Very good, thank you. And Mr. Milks?
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, as the court is aware, these sort of hearings really should focus on the defense attorney. Unfortunately, my client stole my thunder with everything that he's doing. This is exactly what he told me over the phone, Your Honor. I think this is the one sad thing is he didn't remember having police contact just because he was under the influence at the time, which is also scary in and of its own right. And I know talking through him, this is something that also kind of scares his family. And I know people that do support him, Your Honor. I am proud of the steps that he did take. And as I told Mr. Forrest in a prior email, Your Honor, I'm very happy that we're trying to focus on rehabilitation here, which I think is incredibly important. I would ask that the court adopt the recommendations. I believe Mr. Laughlin is still also trying to address some of these mental health issues he's having through the current treatment. So, Your Honor, I just ask the court adopt the recommendation. Thank you.
All right. And then Mr. Laughlin, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, Your Honor.
Well, it sounds like you got right on it when you knew that there was a problem, and then you had a lot of support and people stepped up to help you. So I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to hear your agent thinks you can successfully complete probation. That's a good sign. And you know, relapses, they're not good, but well, some people think they are good because they teach you something. They teach you like what your trigger was, what led you to relapse. And so you can learn from it and deal with it in the future. So they're not unexpected and they do actually have their benefits. But as long as you get back on track and remember that you've come a long way and you didn't go back to zero by relapsing, you went back a little bit, but you still have some skills and some tools, right?
Yes.
That you've learned. Okay, so I will continue you on probation and you must of course complete your relapse prevention and all terms and conditions of probation will remain in effect. Mr. Laughlin, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. It explains that more on the paper you just received. Okay?
Okay.
So continue everything else you're doing and good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah,
We gotta do it that way.
no handshaking there.
Good luck, Mr. Laughlin. And I think Mr. Collier, we're going to request to be set on for hearing.
Okay. Okay, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Lervis Collier, docket number 18-991FH. Mr. Collier, you're here today on an allegation of probation violation. It is alleged that on or about December 27 of 2020, you had a confirmed consumption of alcohol on your Scram alcohol monitor. And do you understand the allegation against you?
Yes.
If it's proven true, it could subject you to a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison based on your original conviction. You have the right to an attorney and you are represented by Mr. Milks. You also have the right to a contested hearing on this, where you could appear by yourself or through your attorney. You could hear the evidence presented against you. You could cross-examine witnesses and you could present your own evidence. And Mr. Milks, how are we proceeding on this?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, it's my understanding we are requesting the court set this for a probation violation hearing. I will note that my client and I were not able to connect prior to today. We've got updated contact information at this time, so but we are asking that the court set this recording.
Okay, let's talk about what that hearing might look like. What are your thoughts about doing it remotely?
I will do whatever the court prefers.
I don't want to trample on anybody's rights, so you tell me. I would prefer to do the whole thing remotely.
Okay.
But if that's not acceptable, then, I mean, there'd be a witness called, I mean.
I am fine with doing the hearing remotely. I will talk with my client further about that.
Okay.
To kind of get some of his ideas with that, but
Yeah.
as of right now, I'm fine remotely, Your Honor, as
Okay.
long as that's okay with the client.
As long as it's okay with Mr. Collier.
I'm okay with that.
Pardon me?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, good. Then we'll plan on that. You'll have more time though to talk to your lawyer about it, but we'll plan on doing it all remotely then.
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay, then I will set it for, let me see. Mhm. Okay, let me just check while I have you on the line. Mr. Milks?
Yes.
February 8th at 2:00.
That should work just fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
Agent Flynn, February 8th at 2:00.
Your Honor, I'm actually going to be on vacation February 8th through the 12th that week. I could try to find somebody to cover if you would like me to do that. And in fact, the person that would probably be testifying in this contested hearing would probably be the person covering anyway.
Oh, well,
So we
in
can
that case, yeah, in that case, then I think you should have someone covered. If it's going to be the same person who would testify, that makes total sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Okay, so then February 8th at 2:00 it is.
Your Honor,
Yes,
one other thing I'd like to address with you real quick while we're on the record. Today is the scheduled day that Mr. Collier is supposed to be removed from Scram. I was asking if we could extend that at least through the date of this hearing until we come to the result of that.
yes, I will require that be extended to February 8th.
And I spoke with my client, Your Honor, and I told him to expect that the court would at least maintain status quo
Yep.
right now, so I think he's fully aware of that.
Okay, so I will see you all back on the 8th. See you remotely, that is.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Mr. Milks, if you email me, do you have my email address?
I do, yes.
If you email me, I will confirm with you who it is that's going to be covering it. I'm thinking one of two people. It'll either be Agent Gleason or Agent Farr. But I will get you that information. Just shoot me an email sometime before then.